Hey everyone, welcome back to Sacred Cards. Today I'm going to share with you an update to my Earth Machine deck profile. I've been trying to post at least once a week, but I've been so busy with the family and the holidays coming up, but I'm trying to make up for it as I have a bunch of decks I want to update for you and some new stuff I've been working on. This Earth Machine deck is really innovative, many different lines of play. I've been working with the deck for about 3 years now. It has a lot of cool combos and can make some big Xyz monsters. I'm constantly messing around with the ratios, so stay tuned for future updates. This is a 43 card list. It plays many 1-card starters but does have a few bricks. So I've been trying to perfect the ratios and I'm very happy with this list and its performance throughout testing. Also, please be sure to check out the other profiles and content on my channel. Trying to post as often as possible, and I really appreciate all the support the channel's been given so far. So, with all that said, let's get into the deck profile. First off, for the Infinitrack lineup, I play 3 copies of Infinitrack Harvester. One of the best starters in the deck when it is normal or special summon, you can search an Infinitrack monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you can target another monster you control, then each of them becomes the combined level of the 2 monsters you selected, making it easy to go into Xyz plays. For extenders, I play 1 copy of Infinitrack Brutal Dozer, 1 copy of Trencher, and 1 copy of Road Roller. Brutal Dozer, contribute an Earth Machine monster to special summon itself from the hand, and if you do, you can special summon another Infinitrack monster from your deck. It does lock you into Earth Machine, so you gotta keep that in mind. Trencher, contribute an Earth Machine to special summon itself from the hand, then you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon a level 5 or lower Infinitrack from your graveyard. I do like the idea of having 2 copies, and I have in the past, but for this list, I think 1 is fine. Road Roller was a new support from Cyberstorm Access, and I really like this card because if an Earth Machine is tributed or banished, you can special summon it from the hand or graveyard. When you use this card as Xyz material, it changes all monsters your opponent controls to defense position and reduces their defense by 1,000 points. Now, for your Gearbox search targets, I play 1 copy of Infinitrack Crab Crane, 1 copy of Tunneler, and 1 copy of Anchor Drill. Crab Crane is a new addition of the deck for me. It can tribute an Earth Machine to special summon. Then it has the ability to banish a machine from the graveyard to search your copy of Outrigger Extension. Tunneler can tribute an Earth Machine to special summon itself, but the main effect is to banish itself from the graveyard, shuffle back 5 monsters, and draw 2 cards. When Anchor Drill is normal or special summon, it can summon an Earth Machine from your hand in defense position. Similar to Harvester, you can combine the levels of another monster you control and each become that level to help you make Xyz plays. And the last card in the Infinitrack lineup is 1 copy of Ancient Gearbox. Gearbox is the 1 card you don't really want to see in your opening hand. You want to search this with your copy of Ancient Gear Ballista in the extra deck. When it is added to your hand, you can add an Infinitrack monster with 500 defense from your deck to your hand, usually to add your copy of Tunneler, Trencher, or Anchor Drill, or your copy of Crab Crane. Next is the Machina lineup, starting with 3 copies of Machina Gear Frame. Another one of your main starters in the deck. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Machina card from your deck to your hand. My main target for Gear Frame is 1 copy of Machina Unclassed Bar. When Unclassed Bar is added to your hand, except by drawing it, it can special summon itself, and when it is normal or special summon, you can send 1 Machina monster from your deck to the graveyard, usually being one of the 3 following cards. Now for your big boss machines, I play 1 copy of Machina Fortress, 1 copy of Machina Citadel, and 1 copy of Ruin Force. All these cards can be special summoned from the graveyard. Machina Fortress can discard machine monsters whose levels equal 8 or more, including itself, to special summon it from the hand or graveyard. If it's destroyed by battle, you can destroy a card your opponent controls, and if it's targeted, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard one from their hand. Citadel is a level 10 monster that must be special summoned by card effect. If an Earth Machine is destroyed, you can special summon it from the graveyard. When it is on the field, quick effect, you can destroy a machine monster you control, and all monsters on your opponent's side of the field with equal or less attack than your monster. Ruin Force is another level 10 monster that can special summon itself from the graveyard by banishing monsters whose levels equal 12 or more. When your opponent activates a card effect during the battle phase, you can cut your opponent's life points in half to negate it, and if you can cut your life points in half to negate it, and if you do, cut your opponent's life points in half. And with 4600 attack, this card hits very hard. Next up is a small train package in 1 copy of Derricrane and 1 copy of Bullet Train. With Derricrane, if an Earth Machine is summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand, but have its attack and defense. When it is detached from an Xyz monster, you can destroy a card your opponent controls. Bullet Train can be special summoned if you only control Earth Machines, so it's very easy to get out, and if it is sent to the graveyard that turn, you can target a machine monster back in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Usually you want to recycle your copy of Ancient Gearbox to search another Infinitrack from the deck. Now, last of the monsters, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Ash Blossom is just good to interrupt your opponent's plays and just a good all-around hand trap. And Effect Veiler is, Effect Veiler's Effect Veiler. I do also play Impermanence, but I'll get to that in the trap card section. These cards can be swapped out for any interruptions you like. This is just a set of cards that I think work very well in this particular list. So 6 hand traps there. Now that is it for the monsters. Now moving on to the spells. Starting off with 3 copies of your Infinitrack Searcher, heavy forward. This card will add you any Infinitrack monster from your deck to your hand. It can attach itself to an Xyz monster as material or change its battle position. And your next searcher is 3 copies of Machina Redeployment. You can discard 1 card to add 2 Machina monsters from your deck to your hand, but if you discard a Machina card, you can add any 2 Machina cards from your deck to your hand, including the trap card Overdrive. Next is 2 copies of Urgent Schedule. I think 2 copies is just fine. It helps get your plays going and a good card going second. If your opponent controls more monsters, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from your deck in defense position. And if this set card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a level 10 machine monster from your deck to your hand. Next, I play 1 copy of Outrigger Extension. This card can be searched with your copy of Crab Crane. It provides extra protection. While this card is on the field, your opponent cannot target Xyz monsters with card effects. It also has the ability that you can target an Infinitrack Xyz monster and special summon a machine monster from your extra deck that is 2 ranks higher by using this card as material. I think it's a great card that provides a lot of utility for the deck. Next up, I play some more interruptions in 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. This quick play spell lets you send any number of cards from your hand or field to negate the effects and have the attack of the same number of monsters your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate cards in response with the same type, monster, spell, or trap as the cards you send to the graveyard. Just a great card all around. I also play 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase, you can either draw 2 cards, take control of one of their monsters, or look at their hand and shuffle 1 card back into the deck. And the last spell card I play is 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Mostly just to stop your opponent's hand traps or graveyard effects. Just an all-around great card to have available. Now that is it for the spells. Now moving on to the traps. For the traps, I run just a single copy of Machina Overdrive. This card does so much for the deck. You can target a machine monster you control, special summon a Machina monster from your hand or deck, then destroy the targeted monster. Great for triggering your copy of Citadel in the graveyard or getting it out onto the field. You can also banish this card from the graveyard to target 3 machine monsters in the graveyard or banish pile, recycle them back into the deck, and draw 1 card. And the last card I run in the main deck is 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This is another great interruption for your opponent, whether you're going first or second. This deck is able to play a lot of good staples, which makes the deck so competitive. Well, that is it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck. Starting off with your Link 1, we have 3 copies of Infinitrack Goliath. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target an Xyz monster you control and attach this card as material. While it's being used as material, that monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can make these during your main combo and recycle them back with your copy of Tunneler. Next, for the Link 2 monsters, I play 1 copy of Ancient Gear Ballista, 1 copy of Anger Knuckle, and 1 copy of Platinum Gadget. Ballista will search your copy of Ancient Gear box from the deck, which then gets you another search. It can also destroy a spell trap you control, and if you do, change the attack of a monster your opponent controls to 0. Sometimes good for going for game, but it doesn't come up all that often. Anger Knuckle, during the main phase, can quick effects send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, target a level 10 machine in the graveyard, and special summon it in defense position. I only play 1 copy because if it's in the graveyard, you can send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon back this card. Platinum Gadget has the ability that you can special summon a level 4 lower machine monster from your hand to a zone it points to. Now for the Xyz monsters, starting with 1 copy of Gear Gigan X. Gear X is a rank 4 that can detach a material to add a level 4 lower machine from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And next for the Infinitrack Xyz, I'm playing 1 copy of River Stormer, 1 copy of Mountain Smasher, and 1 copy of Earth Slicer. River Stormer is a rank 5 that can detach a material to add any Earth Machine from your deck to your hand, so it can basically search any card in your deck. If it's in your graveyard, you contribute a Machine Link monster to special summon it back in defense position. Also, if it does happen to destroy a monster by battle, you can attach that card as material. Mountain Smasher has the ability that when it destroys a monster by battle, you can attach that card as material. You can also detach a material to have it gain 1000 attack. And like Stormer, you contribute a Link monster to special summon it back in defense position. Earth Slicer can detach any amount of materials to destroy that many cards on the field. Like River Stormer and Mountain Smasher, you contribute a Machine Link monster to special summon it back from the graveyard. As well, if it destroys a monster by battle, you can attach that card to it as material. Now for another rank 9, I like to play 1 copy of Phantom Fortress, Enter Blathnir. Enter Blathnir is a non-Earth Machine monster, but it's another good option to have access to. You can detach a material to either banish a card your opponent controls, banish a random card in your opponent's hand, banish a card face up, banish a card in their graveyard, or banish the top card of their deck face up. Now for the rank 10s, I play 1 copy of number 81, Super Dora, 1 copy of Rail Cannon Gustav Max, and 1 copy of Juggernaut Leve. Superdora can quick effect detach a material to target a card on the field and make it unaffected by card effects. Gustav Max can detach a material to burn your opponent for 2,000 life points. And Juggernaut Leap can be XC summoned by using a rank 10 machine monster as material. This card can make attacks on monsters up to the number of materials it has plus 1, so great for running over your opponent's board. And if you detach a material, you can increase its attack and defense to 6,000, but if you do, only he can attack, so that's something to keep in mind. And finally, the last card in the extra deck is one copy of AA Zeus. If an Xyz monster battled this turn, you can stack this card on top of its materials. In quick effect, you can detach 2 materials, send all of the cards on the field to the graveyard. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach a card from your hand, deck, or extra deck as material. I do also have access to SP Little Knight and Typhon, but I decided to not include them in this list. They are great cards, and if you want to push the deck ceiling even further, by all means, feel free to include them. I just feel the deck does just fine without them, so. Well, that is it for the deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything you like or don't like, feel free to leave me a comment telling me what you think. Be sure to like the video if you did, and subscribe for more content. Thank you for your support, and enjoy the Sacred Cards. See you all in the next one.